Welcome, everybody. Boy, we're excited. We're going to be talking about all things prospecting. We got Rachel Francis on, currently Director of Sales. I know we mostly talk about prospecting on here, but she's got a pretty unique aspect, so don't worry. We're still going to cover the core, but she's the Director of Sales at a company called Coast. Rachel, thanks for joining. How the heck are you?
So good. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Here.
Yes. I had to go true BDR on her to get her on this podcast. Pleasant persistence is the word I've been using. I went pleasant persistence, but it's a couple changes, some cool things going on. I'm sure she'll hit on that a little bit, but we're excited to have you. I want to hear a little bit about your story. So I want to start at the beginning, maybe not like the beginning of your life but how the heck did you even get into sales? Give us kind of that piece.
Yeah. Sales. I mean, I think most people just say they kind of fell into sales. And I think that story is true for me.
It's true. You're right. Actually, nobody grows up. You got the fireman.
Yeah.
There's no degree for sales. It's like, I just stumbled into it.
There kind of is now, which is interesting, but there sure as hell wasn't when I was in college, which is an annoyingly long time ago at this point.
Right.
But yeah, I sold wedding dresses for a really long time, right? So in high school, I waltzed into the bridal shop.
And this is like a physical, this is like, you weren't online. These are you're in a bridal
in person. Yeah. Say Yes to the Dress. I don't know if anyone knows Say Yes to the Dress.
That was the company. It was called Say Yes to the Dress.
No. That was the show.
Oh, that's the show.
Yeah.
Sorry. I knew that. I did know.
But no, I think what I pretty quickly noticed is all of the girls around me were in it because they loved the dresses. I loved the sale, right? I was the person that we would have a special spiff on the dress we had overstock on, and it was I was the person that was great, the next 15 girls are walking out with this same dress. How do I get them to choose that one? I loved the puzzle of the sale.
Fascinating. Yeah.
And so, I think after college, grew up a little bit. I don't think I even really knew what an SDR role was, but got referred to a small startup, and got the SDR
So it was
job.
a friend. You were at the wedding shop, and a friend's hey, you're looking for kind of something different. You might want to try this SDR role. And
you might want to try this. You should get a big girl job. You need a 401k. Health insurance would be cool. And so I walked into the SDR role, having kind of no idea what it was.
How was your first interview? Do you remember that? Was it pretty that's probably
My first interview was on in a beanbag. It was the So True startup. I was sitting in a beanbag in full business casual clothes, trying to be professional in a job interview.
And they put you in a beanbag.
It was hilarious. Yeah.
That true startup.
It was great, right? I think again, sales is sales, and I think especially what I've learned now in SDR leadership is some of those more unique backgrounds wind up absolutely crushing it in this job, right? Yeah. And so, in the SDR role, you
probably brought that into your own world, right? Looking for people who bring unique
especially bridal. Bridal is big stakes, right? Those girls are this is the most important thing that they think they'll ever do in their life.
That's funny. I've heard of people, chess players, college athletes, but wedding dress consultants.
Yes.
I have not heard that as one of those good.
Yeah. One of my closest friends that I worked at the wedding dress shop with, she's a President's Club AE now, absolutely crushing. You start to find people in tech that did bridal before, and you're oh, we know that you're good.
I love that. We can end the podcast right now. Seriously, that was good enough. That's a great aha moment for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did the startup thing, and things kind of turned out pretty well because that was a big growth. You had some good growth then, right?
Yeah, had some good growth, right? So I moved from there. The startup I was at was tourism, right? Tours and activities. It was a booking software, and so when COVID hit, full sales team was laid off, right? Obviously, when the world shut down, people aren't booking kayak tours anymore. And so I moved over to Podium at that time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was Podium, and Podium had that big explosive growth.
Yeah, moved over to Podium, and it was I think what I did well is I found a company on Podium that was about to have an insane wave of growth, And I just positioned myself as the obvious choice to keep promoting, right? Like I made it clear what I wanted. I obviously performed well in the roles that I was in, and I pitched hard for myself to keep kind of moving up and up. So yeah, I wound up
And
in an
when you say that, I mean, that's something that all SDRs and managers, what's the one click down on that? They used to say like you operate in the role that you want plus the role you're in.
yeah.
Was there some of that? Or was it more kind of what you said? Like you were just like, guys, I'm not here. Sometimes with SDRs, it's like, I'd be open to a manager role or an AE role or customer success role. I don't know what I want in my life, so I'm just open to everything.
Yeah.
And you were like, no, I want to be a
I
leader
think
here.
yeah, I think you have to at least know or pretend you know the next seat, right?
Yeah.
Like I think I was pretty clear that I wanted to be in leadership. Like
Yeah.
I took on mentoring new hires as an SDR,
Yeah,
and I had
cool.
so much fun doing that and felt so fulfilled when they were performing well as
Mhm.
well. That it was like, yeah, I think running a team is going to be more fulfilling for me than just like going the like IC like AE route,
Yeah.
which I did a bit of, but like I've fallen back into leadership every time. And
Hmm.
yeah, I think it's just a balance of being really, really bullish and managing up on like, here's what I want, here's what my goals are, here's why I think I should have that. Also, here are like the couple gaps that I think I may have that I'm currently working on. Like, do you agree? Are we on the same page?
Mm.
And it was like maybe once a quarter, I would book this level set with my leader, right? So at the time I was
Oh,
leading a
wow.
team, it was with my director. At the time I was a
Yeah.
director, it was with my VP. And it's just like, am I still on pace for whatever that next goal and that next seat is?
I love it. I love it. So yeah, you kind of just made okay, a little more conscientious about your career. It's funny every time I talk to, as much as a leader, I want to act like I care about every one of my people. I don't. I want to, but I don't.
For sure.
You
We
know,
just don't
you
have time,
well,
right? Like,
yeah. Like I mean, I say it mockingly, but at the same time, like you need to care about your career more than anybody else, because again, people like
1000%.
me, I've got whatever all these I've got these problems. So it's like, as
Yeah.
much as you think people are going to take care of you, it's like, man, you got to kind of step up yourself and see if you can
Yeah,
find
you have
that.
to.
So, okay. So, but then you've kind of done the sales development stuff. You've also
Yeah.
got into sales. Tell us a little bit about how your career kind of is now blossom in some of the roles you're doing, and then ultimately Coast. Like, what's going on there?
Yeah. I mean, I was at Podium for a pretty long time. So the time I left Podium, I had about 100 SDRs underneath me
Which
through
is huge. I mean, once
frontline
you're hitting
managers.
that number,
Huge.
you're like
Yeah,
that
I
is
mean,
a
it was like a
huge
$6
team.
million quota every month, right? Like it was a massive, massive
Wow.
team, which is really fun, right? Like a team operating at that size and scale makes obviously such a big impact on revenue. It was really
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
I'm a crazy person, and I felt like, okay, this is baked, right? Like I felt like you could slide anyone else into that role and it's like amazing. Now don't break anything. Like it's
Mm.
built, just keep it going. And what I really wanted to do is go to a company and kind of go from zero up to that scale. So
Yeah.
I was looking for the right startup for a while. And yeah, I've really found that in Coast. Like, Coast was founded in New York. Our headquarters are in New York. They raised a Series B, and most of those funds went to like open a sales office, which
Cool.
like kind of all arrows pointed to Utah being the right
Yeah.
place to do that because of our
Yeah.
sales talent here.
I love it.
Um, and so yeah, I joined to kind of build out this Utah
And you
office,
are
and
building it out in Utah. Are you
yeah,
doing a
building
bunch
it
of
out in
remote?
Utah.
I
Yeah,
love
I
it.
joined and we had 4 people sitting here, and we now have like 30. So
No
yeah,
way. That's super
yeah,
cool. So,
yep,
so
yep.
yeah, what is the dynamic of the team right now? So you've got some SDR. It sounds like they're mostly in Utah doing inbound,
Yeah.
outbound. What's kind of the flavor? What does it look like at the moment, if you don't
Yeah, we
mind?
have a split. So we have outbound SDRs. We have 2 teams of those, right? So I have 2 frontline leaders underneath me right now. We
Okay.
have an inbound team. We're currently piloting a team in Pakistan, right? Like our SMB motion is our like average deal size is
Sorry,
low enough.
Pakistan? You're doing
Yeah,
Pakistan? Wait, are you doing that
Pakistan.
under you, or is this an outsource? You're doing it through an outsourced
Yeah.
partner.
No, I'm managing it. We have a recruiting partner. Um,
What?
Yeah, it
Wow.
was the only way that I could push it through on like from a budget perspective on a pilot to run it myself. I've seen it be incredibly successful when it's like fully managed outsourced.
Yeah.
But I built, like, I had some of my teams at Podium were in Pakistan. Like, I'm familiar with the motion, I'm
I
familiar
see.
with the culture, and so I felt confident
And
enough to.
are you flying out to Pakistan every once in a while? Like how is
I'm
it in
not flying out
Karachi?
to
I haven't been.
Pakistan. No, I am not. I would like to. I've been told I should be somewhat concerned, being as blonde as I am, flying out to Pakistan.
Yeah, like a sort of. I mean,
Yeah.
I've only I did a I did a 5 year consulting in kind of the Middle East, so mostly
Oh,
Saudi
cool.
Arabia, a couple years in Dubai, flew in just one time into Karachi. I don't even know how to say
Okay.
it, but I've
Cool.
been to
Yeah.
Pakistan once.
It's so fun.
I just haven't heard of sales. Obviously I have no international teams. I just haven't heard
Yeah.
Pakistan being one of the areas.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, they hustle. There's really, really
oh
good
for
sales
sure.
talent out there. Um, yeah, there's good sales talent out there. Podium has a massive team out there.
Fascinating. Gosh, dang. Okay,
Coast is
so you're building but it's you were kind of saying SMB or something about like
Yeah, I
the
think our SMB motion will primarily be there just to manage CAC, right? Like, our average deal size is so small in SMB at Coast that if we're paying an like Utah-based BDR
you
and the
can't.
AE on the deal, like, it
Yeah,
just
you just
changes
can't.
that too much.
And is that
Um,
mostly out? They're doing outbound then, or are they just doing
yeah,
inbound response
we're doing
stuff?
outbound.
Doing outbound.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
God. Okay, so you got the Utah team doing mostly
Yeah.
mid-market and enterprise. Then
Yep.
you got this SMB team. Inbound? Did you say any inbound, or is it
We have a
mostly
couple
outbound?
reps on inbound. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
not much. It's mostly kind of you're running an
Yeah,
outbound motion here.
we're still at the point where
Yeah.
our, like, hand raised demos are going straight to AEs. Like, we don't have a ton of qualification
Mm,
needed.
I like
Um,
that. I like
and
that.
so it's really just kind of that, like, tier 2, like, webinar registrants. Like, there's a variety of kind of lead sources that feed to our inbound SDRs.
So it's just a couple of them kind of doing their thing.
A
So
couple of them.
you're
Yeah. I mean, I think that
mostly,
portion will grow, right? Like, as marketing budget grows, but we
yeah.
kind of just keep the team size as, as needed to
Yeah,
handle the
that makes
volume,
sense.
right?
Okay, so you're mostly an outbound motion. So,
Yeah.
so walk us through, at a high level, this is the question I think everyone's trying to figure out, is like how outbound just gotten so much harder. Like, how do you
It's
win an
hard.
outbound today? Like,
Outbound is
what's been
hard.
your philosophy to kind of help the team do what feels like the impossible and win when it comes to outbound, whether it's SMB, mid, or enterprise? It is
Yeah.
still hard.
Yeah, I think it's still hard. It's interesting because I think, like, prospects just remember when prospects get smarter, and so
Yeah.
what worked 6 months ago, like, isn't gonna work anymore. Like, you have to stay ahead of and adjust based on what, like, trends you see in cold calling. I think, like, AI phone screener, like, man, my iPhone doesn't ring when an SDR calls me anymore, and I don't even know that I set anything up specifically for that to happen, right? I think it's just like the standard iPhone settings. I'll see that I have 34 missed calls in a day, which I think majority of those are SDRs, and it never even rang, right? And so I think
Maybe.
there's a couple things. I think we try to get very, very good at getting past gatekeepers, right? Like, whereas I think mobile numbers used to be the be all end all, I think it's kind of swung back to center on office lines, right? Because your gatekeeper is an AI. Like, you can actually get through them and chat with people.
Wait. So you're, yeah. So for a long time, so I just want to make sure everyone heard that because I think I almost missed it. Forever we've been using, trying to get mobile numbers because we were like, we got to
Yeah.
get these people. And you're like, actually, I'm seeing the pendulum swing a little bit. I'm actually looking
A
for
little
office
bit.
numbers.
Yeah,
And
like,
we
not
can
that
actually
mobile
get a
numbers
hold
aren't
of
helpful
people.
or important, but, like, man, if the iPhone doesn't ring at all, like, I think it's just as valuable to try to hit them at their office as
Oh,
well, right? And so I think knowing
fascinating.
when your
Yeah.
prospect is there, right? Like, we're calling home services, we're calling HVAC, we're calling plumbers. And so for us, like, 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. prospect time is when their teams all gather, they're in a meeting, and then they go out into the field. And so we're trying to hit them at that kind of perfect opportune time.
So you make a big bust. Like calling is obviously super important, and
Calling is really important for us.
timing of calls you found is important because if you're calling small businesses, which it sounds like that's your ICP,
Yeah.
that's going to be pretty hard to get them during the day because they're probably out. I mean, they have customers, they're out on jobs, etc.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you
Exactly.
find those hours are? Is it like 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. their time, or is it a very small?
It's really early, which is why our Pakistan team works at very interesting hours so that we can catch them at that time.
Fascinating.
Yes, it's either really early or it's late in the afternoon when they've sent their gatekeeper home, right? And it goes, like, straight to their office.
Fascinating. Interesting. So you're doing the early morning, late at night. Does that make then managing team like during the day? Is it just not as effective, or what do you do during the day?
I
Or
mean,
you're like, no,
we
it's
still
still
call
okay.
throughout the
It's still
day,
okay.
right? Like that's when we'll typically hit like more mobile phones. But we're being like very specific about when we're trying which numbers, when we're trying which accounts.
Mm,
Um, because yeah, like you can catch them on their mobile phone as they're driving, right? Um, yeah, again, I
right.
think we're being very specific about, which I think is important with SDRs generally, is not only for your prospect and for your highest connect rate and your highest level of success on the actual phone. I think in managing SDRs, it's like, are you managing what they're doing every hour, every half day, every day? Like, are
Mm,
they being productive? Are they being intentional with their time and what they're doing and who they're calling and when they should be sending emails
I
versus
love
on
it.
the phone,
Yeah.
right?
How do you manage the channel stuff? I mean, it sounds like your audience might be just more phone equipped. So you're like,
For
look,
us, it
we're heavy
is, right?
channel.
Like, even if we're calling a $20 million business, like a $20 million plumbing company still rarely uses LinkedIn. Like, there's some coverage there. Um, but yeah, for us at Coast right
Strong
now,
matters.
LinkedIn is not a huge channel. It obviously is for, I think, most people listening to this, right? And so I think
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's still,
we have
you
to be
know,
pretty multi-channel. And like, again, I think the biggest thing is just meet your prospects where they are.
I love
At
that. Yeah, yeah.
Coast, yeah, like I
Call.
only care about the only KPI I measure my team on is dials. Like, yes, email, supplement with some other things, but like we set
That meeting.
99% of our meetings on the phone. So that's the only thing I really care
I
about them
love it.
doing.
I love it. You got to
At
optimize
other
for what
orgs,
works.
when LinkedIn was more valuable, it's like, okay, great. Like figure out what that mix is
Channel.
for you and hit your prospects where they actually are, right?
Okay, then on the phone, sounds like you're a big phone, you're a pretty heavy phone user.
Yeah.
How do you make sure that, you efficiently run that? There are a lot of, kind of do it yourself SDR teams out there that it's kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah, I find my own list. I got my cell phone or I got my rotary dialer here, or,
Yeah.
but a lot of it's manual or they're doing it themselves.
Yeah.
Other companies have, automated it. So, teams kind of sit down and they're just like getting phone calls.
Yeah.
Reply. Where are you on that spectrum? How have you managed that?
We're we're very, very AI forward with anything we possibly can be
Yeah,
for our team, right?
yeah,
Like whatever I can automate for them so that they can spend the majority of the hours I'm paying them actually picking up the phone and trying to talk to a human, that's what I'm going to try to do.
yeah.
So there's a couple things. Like we rotate through a variety of phone numbers because, spam marking is tough, right? It's
Mm,
like keeping our phone numbers healthy is a big focus for us. Um, but yeah, I mean, we have Coast, luckily, like we've invested pretty heavily into our like RevOps and our growth
systems
team
and stuff.
to
Okay.
support our BDRs. We have Claude connected to Zoom Info, connected to Salesforce, connected to essentially everything. And
Okay.
so number one, my reps could like easily pull a list that's auto assigned for them and
Okay.
sequence for them. That being said, if they want to get creative, like we have centrally built as a leadership team some specific Claude skills where they can, as an example, reverse prospect and put an account in that they like or that they've seen success with, and it will spit out lookalike accounts to them and then prioritize that list for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
which is, I mean, that's just as of the last few months. Like it's crazy what
What
Claude
some of
can
the things
do
they're
and
doing.
how quickly it's actually really changing our go-to-market motion and the efficiency of our BDRs and AEs.
Fascinating. So you've got some of these tools. So you're using Claude a little bit to help find some of the accounts, and then the auto dialing technology, Nooks, Orem, something like that.
We're actually in like demoing Nooks right now. And again, based on my ICP, I haven't needed a parallel dialer until like today. Like when I started at
Mm,
Coast, our connect rate was like 14%. And so the
mhm.
idea of adding an auto dialer on top is like, it would have just been overwhelming. Like we didn't need it. In the last 6 to 8 months, it's dropped to like 5%.
The connect
And
rate.
so again,
Really?
like iPhone AI, right? It's just screens everybody. And so I'm for the first time like actually really seriously evaluating Nook specifically. Not just for the like power dialer capabilities, um, but also we might move our outreach like sales engagement over to Nooks because it integrates
Oh,
with Claude better, right? It's like we'll have
oh,
better AI visibility again, everything we're doing right now is like, how
Trying
can
to
we
be
make
more
sure
AI
that we have
driven.
visibility with AI?
Fascinating, fascinating. So the connect rates were higher, but it's now much lower. You think that's because of like the iPhone challenges and
I
calling?
think so. I mean, potentially number health. I don't think that anything else has materially changed, right?
Yeah, interesting. So that's your primary motion in calling. So, but are you using anybody to get phone numbers, or it's Zoom Info predominantly is kind of the
Mainly Zoom Info. We have some like kind of like waterfall tools. We
to get a
have
little better
to
info
get
there.
yeah. If not in Zoom Info, search Apollo, search whatever. I mean, I think my BDRs all have like personal licenses on like Hunter or
Yeah,
people search, right? Like all the like kind of
trying to get some
personal
info.
ones, just trying to find the best numbers. Um, yeah.
Interesting. So we mentioned AI, that's kind of the talk of the town. Is there
Yeah.
any other use cases you're finding valuable for it at the moment? And then I'm just curious on what advice you'd give to people, you know, your journey on AI, like
Yeah.
thoughts on kind of what's good, what's bad, what's ugly.
Yeah, there's a couple interesting use cases again, right? Like I think one of the best ways that we're using it right now is the tool we use to record our grain calls for AEs, right? Like the demo calls. Like we have a like call coach. So like we basically spit out like the rubric of a perfect
Mm,
AE demo and they can then grade and get a score against
right,
that, right? So
right.
it's basically helping that kind of farther down funnel. For our prospecting specifically, yeah, we have a skill built for like list prioritization, right? It's like they can import a Salesforce list and it'll say like, hey, based on like the warmth of these accounts or the touches on these accounts, like this is, or the firmographics of the account, for
Or the
example, like we're going to rank them for you. And here's what we suggest you call first.
okay.
Um, we have a skill on like pacing against quota. So basically against your current funnel metrics, right? Like set rate, hold rate, close rate for each rep. It's like, if you want to hit quota, here's how many dials you need to make today, which will
That's
convert to the
cool. So it
set
kind of
today.
the pacing knows how well they're
Yeah,
tracking towards their
yeah,
ultimate goals or something.
yeah, exactly.
Interesting. What's kind of your quick advice for people trying to adopt AI in the SDR process? Working, not working. Be curious. What's kind of your take
I,
there?
I think it's just like, it's almost creepy how you can ask Claude, you can say, here's what I want you to do, and it will tell you how to set it up for you, right? And so I think
Yeah,
so many people, I mean, I was like decently intimidated of like, man, how and where do you start? I think it's just like start somewhere, like create a kind of business use case of like what you think you want to do, and you can ask AI how it should set it up for you, right? I think the other thing that we've done a pretty good job of at Coast is we've centralized skill building. And there's a Tiger team of reps that can like suggest and or build skills that
cool.
then other people
And
like
actually
can
jump in on.
audit or evaluate so that we don't have like
Mm,
redundant or like crappy skills that everyone doesn't know which one to use.
yeah.
Um, so we've tried to keep that really tidy, which
Yeah, so
is,
those are some of the ways you've continued to kind of go down that journey a
yeah.
little bit more. When you're running outbound, is there there's a lot of talk on signal based, or trying to like reach out to people based on, different interactions and stuff. Have you guys dabbled in that at all, or not really as much in your world?
I mean, kind of. I hate to say it. I always feel like the signals that are there, like Zoom Info websites or whatever, it's like they don't even know, right? Like
Hmm.
I don't know that I've ever had like
A real success with it or real
yeah,
win.
I don't
Yeah,
think so, right? I think the best thing you can
fascinating.
do is just
Yeah,
to train your team to be absolutely like lethal on the coldest possible lead. Here's the script by persona. Here's what you're going to say. We role play twice a week, every week on our most common objections. Like we're just running this play all the time. And our play that we're running is ice cold outbound. And so if there's anything that's somewhat relevant or there is a signal or there's some awareness, it's like, wait, this is nice. This is kind of easy, right?
yeah. So you're prepping
Um,
them for the worst, hoping
you're
for the
just prepping
best.
them for the worst, right?
Yeah,
Like
like
I'm
it.
the worst possible prospect in every role play ever. Like they think I'm the meanest. But then they get on and they're talking to Jim at whatever company, and like he's nice in comparison to what we do internally in a role play.
Yeah, you're the worst. What is role play? Well, I mean, I don't know if people do role play enough. What's your what's your thought? Like you got, it sounds like you're doing it a lot.
Really,
What's the
we do it a ton.
Yeah, what's the play there to make sure that it's part of, because to your point, man, there's not, if you're really heavy on calling, there's nothing better than just
There's
practice
nothing
makes perfect.
better. I mean, yeah, I think there's some like AI tools that could probably do it, obviously, right? Like I think they exist. I'm a little bit old school with that, right? Like I trust myself to pause a rep and like teach them the psychology of why they should say what they're saying at this point
Yeah,
more than I
yeah.
trust like an AI tool to do it. Yeah, man, I think the tough part with sales development leadership is like at most companies, you take your best SDR and it's like amazing. You're running a team now, replicate yourself. And I don't think there's a ton of training on like, how do you actually lead a team? How do you actually
Oh
do
my
this? How do
goodness.
you motivate people? How do you hold people accountable, right?
So
And
true. So
I think
true.
most coaching winds up being super reactive of like, oh no, the reps are struggling with this. Let's now teach them that. We're trying really hard. There's a long way to go, but we're trying really hard to build like a proactive curriculum that feels like as they go through this, if ideally when they're coming out of their, year as a BDR at Coast, like they're an incredible seller. Whether they stay at Coast or go somewhere else, it's like
Mm.
they have gotten like the true like foundation that they should be good anywhere. Again, there's a long way to go. We're not
Interesting.
perfect at that, but that's the like ideal state.
Yeah, yeah, but you've really focused on, and it's a couple. You try to have everybody do it a couple times a week, like a role play, like with a
Every
partner. It
Tuesday
sounds
and
like with a
Thursday.
partner, a manager. You got to spend
Every
five
Tuesday and
minutes.
Thursday, it's everyone ramping, and then everyone ramping, anyone underperforming, it's not optional, and then it's optional for anyone who's like pacing or at or over quota.
And they're assigned to work with specific people, or is it always you?
It's all of us together. So they'll like trade off
Oh, yeah,
who's pitching. I try to comb through like based on call recordings, like
yeah,
what our most common like blocker is or objection
yeah.
is that we're getting, and then that's the one that we kind of push on and role
Fascinating,
play against. Yeah.
fascinating. Yeah, look, it's funny. I feel like we've lost the art of cold calling over the past 20 years. Like us old dogs,
Really?
I mean, I started as an SDR, so I can say this a little bit, but I
Yeah.
did the 100 calls and they threw you in, you just had to kind of learn email, like it was a thing, but I
Not
don't know,
really,
you
right?
couldn't
It was
really
like
do
the
it
art
for
of
some
the
reason.
voicemail. It's like Jeb Blount's playbook, right? And I think again, I think email and LinkedIn worked, and so we stopped cold calling.
Yeah,
And I
then we
think
went all in, but it's kind of coming, it's like come
it's
back with
coming
a real
back.
roar.
I think
But
so. I
it's
think
interesting to
there's
hear
just something
people.
about, especially with AI, I think if you're really good as a human on the phone, like that feels like a human connection. And I think people are more respondent to that than they were even 6 months, a year ago,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, probably because we're being bombarded by. I try to answer one cold call a day,
Yeah,
just because I was an SDR, and so I just try to answer
totally.
one number, and I always love it, and I always love hearing these guys and girls, like doing their stuff,
Yeah.
and I mean, I'm just like I
You
was
ever
in
find
your
yourself
shoes.
coaching, you're like, hey, let me give you
Well,
advice. Like,
so
your
it's
opener was
funny. I
strong.
know they don't. I know they don't want coaching, and I try not to be that guy. It's like those.
Yeah,
What are those commercials where it's like, don't be like your grandparents? It's like that insurance commercial. It's
for
like
real.
they don't want you to coach them. They want you to
For real.
buy
They
their
just want you to
crap
take a meeting, please.
or
Yeah.
not buy
Yeah.
their crap. And I'm like,
Yeah.
so every once in a while I do give them some coaching, but mostly I just, I try to listen. And look, sometimes it does work, but it's cool to see the art of cold calling and people like yourselves who
Yeah.
are more interested in the craft, come back, because I think there was
Yeah.
this big push of like, let's just all go be GTM engineers and just,
Totally.
optimize everything and try to turn it
Yeah.
into like a spam can email tool. But it's fun to hear someone be like, no, like we role play twice a
And you
week and they
have
got to
to.
do it. And
Yeah. Yeah.
they use their voice and you're like, their
Yes.
voice that they actually talk.
Yeah. Their voice, their tonality, the pauses, right? Like there is an art to it. Like, it truly is a craft. And I think it's one that, man, if you can be good at that, like as you grow through your career, like you're going to be a top performing AE anywhere, right?
Yeah. I mean, it matters so much in sales, and it doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. I know we
No, I don't think
all
so.
want to believe the SDR is going to be automated out, but it doesn't appear that's happening anytime soon. So, okay,
Yeah,
cool. Well, Rachel.
yeah, many people have tried. I don't think it's working.
Yeah. Well, actually, hit that real quick. I mean, there was a talk of, AI eliminating all SDRs, but what's your quick take on it? I mean, it's been tougher than people thought, right? It's kind of the
I think so, right? Like, I think anyone that I chat with in the industry, and maybe it's because my LinkedIn algorithm knows that that's my opinion, but I feel like I continually see like, hey, we tried the full AI SDR and it didn't work.
yeah.
Yeah, I know, like when I get calls and it's obviously not a person, I'm immediately annoyed, right? Like,
Mhm.
whereas I think, again, there's something about how strong AI is, right? Like, yeah, let AI write your emails. Let AI do a LinkedIn message potentially, right? Like I would edit it and look at it and make sure it doesn't read completely AI BS. But I think there's something about, yeah, like the pauses, the inflection, like just being an actual human on the phone, I think is really important. I think
Makes a huge
you're
difference.
already cold calling. They already don't want to talk to you. I think if it's a robot talking to you, like I don't see that turning into a ton of pipeline. But yeah, again, we're using AI at Coast to do essentially everything else if possible so that these guys are just weapons on the phone.
Yeah. Really turn them into like superheroes, right?
Yeah.
Super salesmen, super BDRs, super SDRs. Cool.
Right.
Awesome. Well, it's fun to kind of pick your brain on the latest and greatest in your world. Fun to hear your story a little bit, Rachel. If somebody wants to get in touch or, I don't know, ask some questions, what's the best way to follow up with you?
Yeah. Follow up with me on LinkedIn.
Not call. You don't want them to call you? Or
I mean, they can call me. My phone won't ring. I need to change my settings, right? Yeah, my iPhone is doing its screening really well. But yeah, happy to chat with anyone. Always love connecting with others in the industry. It's a little world that we're all in right now.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, the reason we're trying to do some of these podcasts is I think we're all trying to figure this out. If anybody acts like they have all the answers, I promise you they don't. We're all
Absolutely
learning
not.
one day at a time. You test, you try, and hopefully you're
Yeah.
successful. So cool. Rachel, again, thanks for joining. For everybody else, have a fantastic day.